you don't have to have like specific yoga props. So you can have 2 blocks or books or some sturdy towels or blankets or pillows. I have pillows. I like to rest in final relaxation with a pillow under my head. There's a pose we might use a pillow for. I have a bolster. You can use large couch cushions for this, which is perfect. Or you can roll a blanket up. And I forgot my blanket, but you can have a nice cozy blanket. And then I have a sweater because I might get cold. So go ahead and grab one of your props, bolster, something long. You can roll a blanket. We're going to lay back for opening meditation. So just line it up right behind your tailbone. You can bend your knees and lay right back. Option to come into reclining butterfly. So you can bring your feet together, knees apart. And if this is too much, just add your blocks or your books underneath the legs, like the thigh area or knees. And get comfortable here. And then start taking deep breaths. Wonderful. Okay. Starting to arrive in your body. Maybe it's the first time you've turned inward today. So it's such an inward time. We're inside. We might feel less connected. So I wanted to do these classes as a way to keep our yoga community alive, stay connected, reach out to you all. So go ahead and start deepening your breath more. If you'd like, you can place one hand on the heart and one on the belly. So inhaling, feel the breath coming in. Full lungs, and then slow exhale, feeling the belly and chest fall, and then continuing this. Inhale. You want to inhale into the chest and the belly. You're breathing so much into the diaphragm. And then exhale, really slow if you can, maybe even slower. So ideally breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. But if you have some allergies or stuffy nose at this time of year, just do your best, do whatever suits you. If you need to breathe in through the mouth for a moment, that's fine. So continuing to breathe here. So here we are in meditation, it's just starting to kind of get to know how we feel today. So notice your body. Awesome. Physical body without judgment. So I've tried to have an intention of body love for a lot of the days that I've been practicing at home. So important to bring acceptance and compassion to the body, especially for this practice, because in the poses, once we get into them, we'll learn that no two people are the same in each shape. There's no goal or peak of each posture to get to, or nothing to attain. So you just go at your own pace, make this your own practice. And welcome to everyone that just came in. We're just lying down in a meditation. You can lay on a bolster or a pillow. And I do have my phone with me, and it's just to time the poses, so not texting or anything. All right, breathing here. So you notice the physical body, any areas that need some love, aches, pains, any areas that are open or feel good or smooth. Just notice anything, heaviness, lightness. And then, of course, the mind comes in. So just notice the quality of the mind. It's okay if there are thoughts. Can you inhale presence? Exhale, let go. And you can even use those words. So you can inhale and repeat the word presence to yourself. Exhale the word let go, or the words let go. Beautiful. Let's take one more minute here. You are welcome to set an intention at this point. So it can be that intention of body love, It can be anything that you need. It could be the word peace, presence, healing, health, wellness, love, compassion, any of these. So about 10 more breaths here. Nice. Just noticing how you feel. So the deep breathing calms the nervous system, and we'll keep practicing that throughout. So you have your intention in mind. We're just going to slowly move out of this. So let's first just release the hips. You can manually bring the knees together and then slide the heels forward, stretching the legs long. Notice the hips, any sensation or movement. And then bending your knees, bringing the feet to the ground. You can slowly roll off the bolster, and we're gonna walk the hands around, finding a child's pose. So please take your time. All right, so child's pose. Knees bent, some compression there, forehead, third eye down. If your hips are up, that's okay. Maybe you take some pillows or a blanket and you just place them under the hips, and you can maybe ease down a little better. So we're just going to be here a minute or so. I just wanted to read one of the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. This is the Swami Satchidananda translation and commentary. This is the second Yoga Sutra. In his translation from Sanskrit, the restraint of the modifications of the mind stuff is yoga. So this one passage basically summing up the yoga practice. Restraint of the modifications of the mind stuff. So this is meditation. The goal of yoga, asana practice, postures, breath, all that stuff is to be able to meditate, which is very difficult, and especially a seated meditation. If you've tried that, that's so hard. But I really believe this practice we're doing right now is a gateway to meditation. It really helps us get into it. All right, awesome. So we're gonna slowly come up hands and knees, bringing your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. You can take a couple cat and cows. You'll inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the head to the sky, exhale, round into cat, arching the back, and then starting to move with your breath. So you inhale, cow, exhale, cat. Just a few more at your own pace. So this is not a yin posture. We're using our muscles to kind of get through this. We're stretching the muscles. We're just kind of getting ready for the pose. Nice. All right, so coming back to center. So we're going to take a little movement with the right arm. Keep the left hand pressing into the mat, and then inhale, lifting the right arm, sweep it up. On exhale, we're going to just swing the arm under, and then going up again. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, dive under. Last time we're going to stay down. So inhale, sweep up. Exhale, dive the arm under. You can bring your shoulder and head to the ground. If this isn't working for you, just bring the ground closer to you. Take a bolster or your cushion, and you can bring your shoulder and head there. Awesome. So we're going to hold this about 3 minutes. The poses will be held between probably 3 to 4 today. You do not have to stay in the pose the whole time. This is not anything where we're setting a goal, trying to last endurance. Just a suggestion of this 3 minutes. Now we're getting a nice twist in the upper spine, the thoracic area. into the ribs. You can breathe into them. If you need a little extra, you can use this left hand. If you don't need it down for support, maybe you bring it to the low back, just resting there. And some of us might bring it around to the opposite hip, but that might never happen. It's okay. Just go to where you're using not a lot of effort. And keep the breath going. Each pose, you'll breathe a little differently. Depends on how open the chest is. Whether we're in a forward bend, back bend, twist, they're all different. So just observe the breath here. How does it feel? So I wanted to focus a bit on the arms and shoulders today. Some yin teachers don't teach a lot of shoulder openers, but I really find them to be very important, especially opening in the heart meridians, which I'll explain in a little bit, or heart meridian rather. Nice. So still in the pose probably, unless you've come and backed off. So keep in mind, never any pain, but it's okay if there's some discomfort or some achy feeling. You might feel heaviness in the area that we're really working on. So we have about 10 more breaths here. So yin is very different from yang, this style of yoga. Very slow, a lot of stillness, cultivating that. Yang being more active, like a vinyasa practice, power, flow, stuff like that. A few more breaths here. Nice. If your left hand's behind, you can bring it back near the face. Use it for support, and we'll press our left hand down. Inhale, drag the right arm out. You can sweep up one more time if you'd like. And then exhale down. And then either some cat and cows or back to child's pose. All right, coming back up, we'll do the other side. Right hand presses down, and then inhale, left arm comes up, and then exhale, sweep it under. 2 more, inhale, and exhale. 1 more, inhale. Exhale, diving the arm under. Shoulder and the head can come down to the floor or to your bolster or pillow or cushion. Now we want to relax the muscles in these poses, but this one is just a little more active. We're kind of holding our legs in place. So just do what you can, breathing in and out to release that upper back, the shoulders, upper spine. Meditative aspect, watching the thoughts. You can think of the clear blue sky in each thought that's popping in your head, just coming by like a little cloud. So not letting it stay, just let it float right by and then away. You can use the breath here too. So remember, inhale, presence. Exhale, let go. And also asking, where do I feel this in my body? And then can you breathe into that space, whatever the answer is. I forgot to mention, if you ever feel like you need music in the classes, you're welcome to play your own from home. If I play music here, it doesn't really translate well. I've seen other teachers that are doing Spotify playlists and sharing that with students. So I may look into doing that. If anyone would really like that, just send me some feedback. You can email, text, Facebook message, Instagram message, or type on the chat here. So about 1 more minute. I have not forgotten we're still here. It's one of my favorite upper body poses. And more breaths. For me, that's about 45 seconds. It might be different for you. So when you're ready, bringing the right hand next to the face, press it down. Slowly lift up. You might inhale up once more. Exhale down, and then we're just going to come back, child's pose. Bringing the third eye down. If your arms are kind of tired from all that, maybe arms come alongside your body. Take it out of the shoulders. Few breaths here. Just check in each time we're back here. Notice how different the body feels every time we're in this pose. We're going to do one more shorter pose from here, from hands and knees. So again, if your knees are, or not again, if your knees are tired, place the blanket underneath. And then coming up, hands and knees, we're going to walk the hands out in front. It's like a diagonal line, shoulder to wrist. And then inhale, exhale, melting the chest down. So maybe you bring the forehead down, maybe the chin. That's probably not for everyone. And then, of course, your favorite bolster or cushion can come up here. Maybe the chest rests there and gently turning the head. So a few options for you. So we pretty much want our hips still over the knees. That way we're getting up into the chest. So not too long. I know to some 3 minutes might be a long time. I get it. Sometimes it feels that way to me as well. Please come out of the pose at any point. Do your own practice. If you need something else, do that. We're all so different. Bone structures are different from person to person, energy levels, whatever we have going on mentally and emotionally. So here, Anahatasana, or heart melting pose. So the heart meridian, starting obviously in the heart, and then it's going to be coming internally. It exits the body under the armpit. So that's heart one. Very vulnerable place if you think about it. So then it's a very yin channel. It's coming the inside of the arm, forearm. There's a wrist point, and then ending in the pinky. So maybe you feel that area of the body right now. Maybe the armpit's a bit stimulated. Maybe you feel those pinkies. You can even press the pinky fingers even more into the ground directly, stimulating the heart point, heart 9. Beautiful. About halfway through. Beautiful. About one more minute here. Just thinking about, a lot of us have been sitting. If you work from home, you're sitting, you're at your computer, sitting on the couch, really probably closing off the shoulders a bit or hunching forward. So this might feel like a big opening for people. Be gentle with yourself. Emotions may arise here. You can let them flow through you. Exhale out anything else you don't need. Few more breaths. Nice. And then let's press the fingers into the ground and then the heels of the hand and slowly lift the chest. You can walk the hands back. One more child's pose. So bringing maybe the arms alongside. If your forehead doesn't reach down, put a prop under it. Any prop is totally fine. Release the shoulders, the upper back. And let's stretch the legs long. So you'll go ahead and come all the way onto the belly just for a moment. As a rest, I understand that child's pose isn't always restful to everyone. So let's just open legs. We've had them bent for a while. Maybe your hips rock back and forth. Maybe you bend the knees, windshield wiper. And then as you do this, just noticing how your hips feel today. We're going to go into the hips next with our sleeping swan. So let's bring hands under the shoulders and press up just to get into the pose. So you'll slide the right knee forward. And then I like to slide my left leg back or kind of scoot it back, just opening a little more. And then, okay, so my hip comes down on this side, but on the other side sometimes doesn't. So if your hip is up, maybe you take a block, put it underneath. If that's too much, a rolled up blanket, a little pillow works really well too. So this is swan when you're upright. Take a breath here. Maybe you descend the chest. And this is a great spot for a pillow. So you can take it under the chest and totally come down. So if you're like, what the heck, this isn't going to work for me, it's okay. I want you to come onto your back, knees bent, and then taking this right ankle, crossing it right over the thigh, close to the knee on the left side. And then slowly lift the left leg up, and you can grab behind the thigh, the front of the shin, or take a strap or towel so you can pull better. You want your back and head to be down on the floor. Good. Giving those arms a rest and sinking into the hips. So in the yin practice, it takes a little bit of time to relax your muscles and get into the deep yin tissues. So muscles are considered more yang. They like to be like really warm. So you know, contracting them, doing a muscular practice, lifting weights, that's going to be more yang, using the muscles, shorter, quicker movements. Yin tissue is considered to be the fascia, the web of connective tissue that really holds everything together in the body. It helps with metabolism, cooling and warming the body, many functions. Just kind of, a lot of people study fascia, but it's really like we're learning more and more about it all the time. Also, really helping your joints, the fluids around the joints. So nourishing, so healing. Can be considered anti-aging for our lifestyles. So this practice is just so nice and juicy. We're in that hip. So take care not to be holding tension elsewhere. Like if you're really relaxing in your hip, let go in the jaw and the muscles of the face, the forehead, the brows. Make sure you're not really holding in the upper body. So if you feel like you're holding yourself in place, use more props. You can add as many as you'd like. You want to rest. Maybe arms are on the props or maybe your chest. More than halfway through this one. And about 10 more breaths here. Can you now turn toward the sensation that you really feel deep in the hip and explore what does it feel like? So for me, it's kind of a little achy, deep in the hip socket. I can feel pulsations. So just observe in your body. We start to get to know and cultivate chi or prana energy and subtle movements. We can start to really feel them. So when you're ready, as slowly as you can, coming out of the pose. So hands can be used for support, pressing down. I'll usually scoot my back leg forward a little bit, and then my left and right can meet each other. You might slide the props away. I like to just come onto the front body, opening in the hip, just feeling here. Between the poses is super important, just as important as the postures. What do you feel here? Maybe you're feeling something. The chi is the motive force behind the blood. So if you feel like a burst of blood flow or energy or something, feeling both chi and blood, the physical body and the energetic body simultaneously. And then no rush at all. When you're ready, the other side, I'm going to turn around so you can see. Grab a pillow and a bolster. So just have your props ready. You don't have to turn around, of course. So left knee slides forward. Maybe the right slides back a little bit, and you decide, do I need a prop right here? I'm just going to put my small cushion underneath. You might be way higher. That's totally fine. So we're here in swan. Never worrying about if this shin is parallel to the front of the mat. It doesn't matter. It's really about how your hips are shaped, how shallow or deep your head of your femur might be set into your pelvis, your hip socket. So take a breath here and slowly exhaling. So just kind of illustrating how skeletal variations will change the pose for every person. Time that. So take your time. This might be uncomfortable, especially at first. As we start relaxing our muscles and getting deep into the joints, tendons, ligaments, connective tissues, all that stuff. So we are compressing or applying a tensile stretch in every pose. We've got some compression in the hip here. If it feels like squishy, like your tissues are squishing together, usually that's like a compression. And tensile is the stretchy feeling, like the opposite. So either way, one of those types is happening in our postures. When we come out of the pose, we're affecting fluids of the body, blood, and as I mentioned, energy. When we come out of the pose, all that good stuff is just flushing the joints, nourishing them. It really promotes healing and well-being. Stimulating meridians. This helps the body, mind, and spirit. See where you are now. Maybe you've noticed the muscular stretch has changed. Maybe you feel this a little bit deeper now. Turn toward the sensation. Never going too far. Never want anything sharp or like a nerve kind of jolting electric feeling. Nothing like that. No pain. So with tingling sensations, I've done so much kind of self-study into that. I'd like it if you're not feeling tingling while you're in the pose, because then you're cutting off circulation. If you feel tingling when you're out of the pose, that's okay. That's what I found. Sometimes after a specific pose, I'll come out and there'll be some like foot tingling or something. I don't really worry about it. Beautiful. One more minute here, friends. Nice. A few more breaths if you're still in the pose. If you've come out, great job, self-care. All right, so when you're ready, please gently come out of the pose. You can move the props. Just coming to rest on the front body. Taking stillness and feeling this other part of the posture, kind of the end of the posture. And you feel that energy moving. Breathe into it. Few more breaths resting. Just checking the time. Okay, good. So we're going to come into another shoulder opener. I'm going to see if I can turn a little bit so you can see better for this one. Have a pillow or something handy. All right, so there's two options. You're going to stretch your right arm out to the side. This is option number one. Use your left hand, push it into the ground so you can roll onto the shoulder. Your knees can bend here. And then I like a pillow, something under my neck and head. The other option, if your shoulder isn't feeling this, just stretch your arm out in front, your right arm. Left arm again helps you, and you just roll on the side. Same thing, maybe your knees bend. You can also prop with your knees if you need to, or put something between the knees if your bones are knocking together. Awesome. And then if you really need more, you can do something with the left arm. So it can stay down for support. You can bring it to the left hip, just rest it. You can bring it behind you to any degree. Just go slowly. The shoulder joints are more delicate than the hips, where we have so much more like flesh, connective tissue, muscle, all that stuff. So careful with the shoulder joints, moving in and out really slow, especially if you go deeper. So shorter than the last pose. I like to keep the shoulder ones a little shorter. This is a big heart opener. What is the breath like here with the chest so open? Maybe it feels different than the last pose where we are kind of closed off. Remember that point, heart one, in the armpit. Maybe you feel the stimulation, or maybe you bring your mind's attention there and breathe. Working with the heart channel has really calming effects. So helping with anxiety and stress, calming the mind, calming the spirit, like things for like heart palpitations, panic. Just a slow breath in and out, releasing any of those things. Exhale it all out. You can always add audible exhales, big inhales in your own practice. You're at home, no one can hear or see you. You can even groan or grunt coming in or out of poses. It's all good. About 1 more minute. Back off if it's too much. If you can breathe through it for 10 more breaths, then you can stay. If not, it's okay. Remember, a compassionate acceptance toward the self, toward the physical body, and towards all emotional body, mind. So it's just a few more breaths here. So please come out as slowly as you can. If you've moved that left hand, bring it around to the left side. Let it help you. Let's just roll onto the belly. Arms alongside, maybe, or they can be bent, whatever feels good. But maybe you turn your head the other direction. Stretch the neck a little bit. So when ready for the other side, it's the left arm stretching out to the left or towards the front. Right hand helps you. You roll, push into the ground, roll on the side. Maybe knees bend. And then maybe a cushion or a pillow, something for your head. Right arm stay down for support, or bring it behind or to the hip. Just take your time with all this. Move really slow. You might still be getting into it. That's great. Breath here. The breath will let you know if you are in the pose for the right amount of time. So if it's hard to take breaths, they're a bit labored, come out. That's the time to maybe take child's pose, slide the front or back, regain the breath. Same thing if there's any feelings of panic or anxiety during the practice. Things might come up for us. We're moving a lot, even though it doesn't, look like we are. You can always take those deep breaths, maybe one hand on the heart, one on the belly, breathing in and out really deeply. That can always calm. You can do that at home anytime you want. I find lying on the floor to be really therapeutic. Maybe you use a blanket on top of you. Deep breaths. This shoulder will feel different than the other. That's okay. We're not symmetrical. We have a dominant side. The right and lefts won't be the same. And I don't find there to be any reason to want them to be. It's just going to cause frustration. More than halfway through, keep breathing. I keep looking over under the door because I think my cat wants to come in, so I might let her in. Nice. We have about 10 more breaths, whatever that means to you on that left side. So coming out again very slowly. Right arm comes back. Just take your time rolling onto the front body. If you had your arms alongside last time, maybe you do it again and turn the head the other direction. Just rest here, a few breaths. Just check the time. Just getting my prop ready. So from here, we're going to take our one back bend today. We'll go into Sphinx or seal pose. So starting, you can prop up on the forearms and hands with your elbows either under shoulders or a little forward. You don't want them behind shoulders. Then you're using your back muscles, and we don't want to use the muscles in this practice. So bringing them forward. Maybe you widen the feet just to your own comfort level. See where they fall. Your body tends to just fall right into the pose the way it's supposed to. So here we are in Sphinx. And you should be feeling some compression in the low back, right around the kidneys, which you can breathe right into the kidneys here. And then several options. You can come to seal, which is sliding the hands apart, slowly elbows lift off. Or if you really had enough, if you have tension in the shoulders, you've already released it with the last few poses, I like a bolster or pillow, just kind of right under, either under the chest or bringing it a little forward and the arms rest here. So whatever suits you. In Sphinx pose, such a beautiful pose to practice breathing. Practice feeling the directionality of the breath, which is really our chi, and the way we can control it is by breathing. Breathing practices spanning all traditions, really important. Qigong, yoga, of course. So when you breathe in Sphinx, can you feel that inhale, like an uplifting sensation? Breathing in, it's kind of up, and exhale feels like a downward. So inhale, uplifting, heavenly. Exhale, feel the parts of the body on the earth sink into them, earthly. Just feeling, starting to notice these movements of chi or energy. See if Lily wants to come. There she is. I was wondering if she'd make an appearance in one of the classes. All right. Sphinx pose, breathing in, breathing out. Nice open chest, open heart. So big compression in the low back. It's okay to feel that. This is a great pose for anyone who sits or drives a lot. Of course, you might not be commuting right now, but sitting causing the same issues. Even if you stand on your feet a lot, that can be really hard on the body. So more than halfway through here, inhale right into those kidneys or low back where you feel this compression. Exhale, grounding, feel the low belly pressing into the earth. Literally a grounding practice. We want to really sink into the earth with each breath. So calming. One more minute here. Beautiful. Continuing a little longer. And if you've come out, great. That's okay. It's not a competition, even with yourself. Every day will be different in your practice. Two more breaths. With your next exhale, slowly rolling the spine down. Slow as you can. And then can you resist the urge to move for maybe 30 seconds? Just feel mental, emotional, physical. And then bending the knees, doing your windshield wiper, loosening up that back. And then if you know you're okay with it in your back, you can take child's pose. With hands under, lift up, exhale back. If that's too much, stay on your front, no worries. Going from, it's technically a forward bend. We just did a back bend, pretty big one. we're going to slowly make our way onto our backs. So if you want to make sure you have anything you need for some final poses and for final relaxation next to you, pillow, bolster, blanket even. I'm actually getting chilly in the practice, which is normal. It's a cooling practice, unlike a yang practice, which would be producing heat in your body. So lying down on the back, we just did our back bend, so let's twist it out. So first, if you want to bring knees into the chest, you can. Maybe you rock side to side or take some circles. Hi, sweetie. So circling. Nice. And then we're going to let the legs fall to one side, maybe the right side. And if you want to cross, you'll do left over right, knees fall right. Take your favorite variation. So you can do props under the legs. I don't want you to be here just holding your legs in place with muscular energy. I want you to relax. So I might even need a bigger prop under here. If your legs are together, you might again bring something between the knees so you're more comfortable, or maybe it's a prop under both knees. So just finding your twist. Awesome posture. And then we do have a nice open chest, open heart. The shoulders should feel heavy. If one shoulder's slightly off the mat, that's okay. Just focus on letting that shoulder drop to the ground and feel heavy, even if it doesn't touch. Grab this sweater. So I am planning to offer these classes as long as we're in quarantine, and I have a website where I'm posting these classes, just like my online class page. And I will post that. And it's also in my bio on Instagram. So Tuesday at 12 o'clock noon is a Yin or Yin Yang flow. It's a hybrid class of Yin and Vinyasa, or a slow, kind of a slow flow class. Thursday is 12 o'clock Yin Yoga. I did go live on Facebook on Sunday for the first time ever, and it was so much fun. So I'm considering doing one of those again, and I'll keep you all updated. If I don't have you on my email list, just make sure to message me with your email address, because I'm putting out the links for all the classes through there. And continuing, we're in our nice deep twist. You're breathing. You can listen to me or not. So luxurious to get to do the full posture for twist just the entire time. Sometimes it's just like thrown in at the end of class, you know, go right, go left. Okay, Shavasana. So now we really get into it, nice and juicy. If you feel it in the side body, getting into the gallbladder channel, it's really great for calming frustration, calming headaches, migraines, helping with the eyes, helping with if you have jaw pain, neck pain. Nice. Just about another minute in our twist. few more breaths. So you'll take your time coming back to center, uncrossing if you cross your legs. Maybe you rock side to side or take any other movements, or maybe you're just still a moment. And then bringing knees in, if you stretch them out, you can rock again, and then knees go to the other side. If you're crossing, it's right over left, and then knees go left. Propping as you need to. Set the timer. Take your time. Take plenty of time. We have so much time. We have like 4 minutes here. You can use a minute or two to even just get into the pose, find your place, find your stillness. Use the whole pose. It's all good. Maybe you've already done twists right and left and you want to do a different pose. You can do that. I think Lily's getting ready to take a nap. She's like finding a little nesty spot on the bed. All right, still in our twist. See how it feels now. You probably noticed by now that the pose feels different as you continue it. It does have a beginning, middle, and end. It feels different now than when you first came in, then it will in like another minute. Impermanence, all is temporary. We learn that in the practice. Even this pose, it'll be over at some point. We can just breathe through it like we can anything that we set our minds to. Halfway through. Noticing the mind, if it's wandered or drifted away. Sometimes at the end of practice, we're either the mind's going or it might be calmer. There's no right way. We're still practicing that mindfulness. If you do have some thoughts swirling, inhale and exhale, presence and letting go. And I forgot to mention also, if you want to bring a journal to these sessions, I've noticed for a while now, I get more creative while I'm practicing yoga. So I'll have a notebook next to me. If this thing comes up and I just, I gotta write it down, that way I can continue the practice without it just going in my head. You're gonna always do that, especially in yin when you're already on the ground. We just have a few more breaths left. Beautiful. Slowly, slowly rolling out of this pose back to the center, uncrossing, feeling what just happened. Awesome. We're just winding down. We're going to have an option for one more pose. So if you want an early Shavasana or relaxation, you can go into that. One more posture, if you'd like, is a happy baby. So you're going to bring your knees into the chest. They're going to go to the sides. This might be it. You can hold your knees so you're not using that effort in the hips to hold them. Or you can take a full happy baby. So grabbing your feet, bringing them kind of parallel to the ceiling, knees out. Can't reach the feet. You can grab the ankles. You can use a towel or strap on each side and kind of pull. If this doesn't work for you, do a different pose. Do something that we didn't get to do yet. Or maybe it's reclining butterfly like the beginning of class. So if you are in happy baby, this is one pose where I'll say it's okay to move. If you need to rock side to side, you can do that. Just kind of rocking. Some people like to kind of straighten one leg, then the other. Just careful of those hamstrings. Maybe eventually finding, 3 to 10 breaths of stillness. Just make this your last pose, what you need. Make sure you're using that breath still. If you need a forward bend, forgot to mention, you can do that. We didn't technically do one, so. Remembering the restraint of the modifications of the mind stuff is yoga. What you're doing right now, practicing one-pointed focus, mindfulness, meditation. Okay, about halfway through, see where you are. Ask yourself, where do I feel this in my body? Breathe into that area, breathe into whatever the answer is. The postures are designed so we can seat ourselves comfortably in meditation. So if you find yourself today just trying, maybe you sit down for 1 minute and just notice it's so much easier to sit on the ground after this practice. Also, I notice feeling literally more grounded. My feet feel more solid on the earth after this practice. They feel like they're wider, taking up more space. 10 more breaths here. All right, so coming out of whatever pose you've made your way into, slowly taking any last counter poses or movements or stretches that you might need. And then you can set yourself up for your final relaxation. Maybe it's just lying on the ground on your back, side, or front. I like a bolster under knees, or you can roll your towel or blanket. And I'll take my pillows. And then I usually bring a blanket over my body and get really cozy. So just find your way into your relaxation. Time for your body, mind, and spirit to absorb all that you've done in this practice. Just simply resting and being for several minutes. So one more nice, deep, big inhale. Exhale. And then rest. So taking some deeper breaths, starting to gently reawaken. You can move the fingers and toes a little bit. And then maybe you circle wrists and ankles or add little movements, gently turning the head from side to side. Good. And then maybe you turn to your side and pause there. You take some breaths in this fetal position. When you're ready, you'll come up to your seat and we'll close our practice together. And take your time. Maybe you close your eyes. May all beings be free of fear and harm. May we all be happy just the way we are. May we be at peace with whatever comes. And may we all live gently in the softness of our own hearts. Namaste.